who are you listening to? That's your voice, then we need to work on that. Instead of highlighting and circling all your flaws, like start highlighting and circling things that you like. You just have to do it. It's the execution part that people don't really do. And then you can't want the result without doing the work.
Welcome back to another episode of Tax and Code Success Chronicles. And today I'm talking with Alanna. And Alanna might be one of my very favorite stories inside of Tax and Code. I remember almost a year ago, the very first interaction that her and I had. It'll be one of the first stories you hear in this episode. It was pivotal for me as Brian Peterson. But she says some things in this episode that are just so interesting and so fascinating. She talks about people that are influencing you and influencing her, and how people are constantly pouring into us. And when people pour into us, we get to pour out and we get to help other people. And Alanna has done so much in such a short period of time that I'm excited for you to listen to this episode, but listen to what is being poured into her and what she's pouring out. Alanna, thank you for joining. I have had your name highlighted on our list, and I've had today highlighted on my calendar because I'm so excited to talk with you today. Because I love your story. I remember the very first interaction you and I had, and it's been probably close to a year now, maybe not a year, 9 months?
Yeah.
I remember that enthusiasm, the very first interaction we had. I want to tell the story and then I want to hear your side.
Okay.
We were teaching Expo, and we were talking about tax liens and over the counters and the first experience. And there's probably 175 people in that room. And I asked how many people had bought a tax lien, and 98% of the people raised their hand. And I said, how many of you have gotten your first redemption check? And your hand flew up. And you were wearing this bright red overcoat, and your face just lit up. And so I walked over and I said, tell me about it. And then I want you to tell the rest.
Okay. So I did receive a check in the mail. I had purchased my first tax liens in Putnam, and I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, county in Florida. And so it was about maybe a month or so after I put a bid, after I purchased them OTC, that I received a check in the mail for $5.56, which was the penalty 5% because it had redeemed at probably the 2-week mark, but I didn't receive the check until about the month mark. And it was right before I had gone to the expo to see you. So that's why I was so excited at that moment. Because I was like, yes, I just got it, just saw it. Didn't even put it in the bank yet, but it's there. And so to me, from just dealing with the banks on a more personal level, like I had mentioned, going through probate with my dad, and they're just giving me the hardest times, just trying to get access to what should have already been ours. And obviously we weren't, protected properly. So, and that's why I had to go through it the hard way. So I'm also grateful for your class for that and teaching that as well. But for them to offered me, after all the stress that they gave me for a year, to offer a 3%, 4% return. And then I was able to earn that 5% on my own. It was just the biggest, moment for me.
The biggest moment. I remember just how excited you were. And I think for so many people, even if you're watching this and you're not familiar with tax liens, you're she made $5.56. That's not that cool, right? The investment had been what, $100?
Yeah, $100
that you'd invested in this tax lien. But the cool part is you invested $100 and you made 5% in, let's call it a month. Mm-hmm. You made 5% in a month. And it's not a shot in the dark. It's not like that never happens. But what was it for you? What made you so excited to make $5.56?
Like I just said, I want to cuss so bad, but to the banks, it's just the biggest F you to them. And it felt so rewarding in that moment to open that check, especially to get it in a check version too. It's just so old school, and it was just fun. I don't know. It was just
to see it.
Yeah, just the like, man, I can't like I really can't express how good it felt. Like just after like feeling so helpless for so long in a way, and then being able to empower myself to be like, no, like forget your 4% in an entire year. Like I can earn that in a month on my own.
So, what did that catapult you into?
I feel like that's part of that imposter syndrome coat fell off a bit because it's like, no, this is real. And even though it's only $5.56, it was also like I got another check for $5.56 like the week after that, and it was just like, okay, so let's keep like re-engaging the money, and then what else can I get into, and um, just really wanting to like spread my wings from there and make like that. Just I feel like catapulted my commitment, I guess, to the journey.
It's so interesting. Maybe because I have the imagery of this bright red overcoat that you had on, but you mentioned the imposter, like you shed the imposter coat, like you got rid of it. What did that feel like? What was that mind shift to, I'm not an imposter. I didn't just get lucky once. Like I'm actually doing this and I'm making money.
I I think as someone who's invested in like random things, like even crypto before, like I think that was the biggest moment, even with receiving like the check. It's just like it made it like real. Like it's not like something that's just sitting in my account. Even if it's growing, it's just like at that point, like stocks or whatever it is, like it's just sitting there. But getting a check and being like, nope, there's my investment, there's my return right there. Let's get keep it going. Like some I don't know, the power of it just becoming more real.
Did you frame that check?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I'm like I'm picturing my office space. I'm still in the but it's ready to be framed.
I remember that day so vividly that you and I joked about that dollar amount, that $5.56, that I told you I was going to create a company of my own called 556, but you beat me to it, I believe.
Yeah.
And I actually have a picture here in the office of you and our G, and then a copy of your check.
Oh
I love it's from the front door and into my office. Like, so I see it every day when I walk by, and I put it there specifically so I'd see it every day because the journey that people go through. Because I remember that first check for me. I remember what it felt like to like, oh, it's real. This actually works. Like, it doesn't feel like it should work. Like when I explain tax lien investing to people, they're just like, that can't be right. Like, there's no way. If that was real, everybody would be doing it. I was like, well, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tell everybody they can do it. And so to see that moment with you where you were like, oh, it's real. It was so exciting and so enlightening for me.
me too. I definitely want to copy of the picture.
Catch everybody up. I get flooded with messages about Alanna and the cool things that you're doing. So catch everybody else up. So from that first tax lien for $5.56 profit to where you are now. Catch me up in your journey.
Okay, so I started like first LLC in August. So May, I didn't take my first class until like a couple months in, but I was working with Karen, and I had already purchased the liens prior to foundation, which was like amazing. So from there, I was so invested in winning an auction. Like that was like all I wanted. So that became my main goal for a while. So I like a 3 month period um, of just like waking up at like 6 because I'm in California. So all these auctions starting at like 8, 9 in the morning on the East Coast time is really early for me. So waking up 5, trying to mentally prepare, get ready, and then not having like an exponential amount of funds to be able to set proxy bids. So having to be like, engaged for that entire auction time is can be draining. But after 3 months, I finally won one in Cleveland, Ohio, because that county just did auctions like so often. I wanted to kind of maximize my deposit investment and be able to participate in the same place. So I won a duplex there. And word of caution, they don't, they do not kick the prior owners out. So probably will have to deal with that, which I am dealing with at the moment. Um, and it's so funny. So I was just there this month, last week, to check it out because I had a team that was going to handle the squatter for me, but they went to the door and he was reacting really hostile. So they were like, good luck. And I was just like, okay, awesome, thank you. So I
Yeah.
called an attorney to see what can I do. I don't know the name. I don't know who's there. I know pretty much nothing. And it's like, yes, I can true people search the prior owners, but based off of the age of the video, it wasn't them. So I wasn't 100% sure what I was walking into. But the attorney said you have to go there, call the police, and get the name of the person at a minimum. And so if you get the police involved, obviously it could be like that legal, name and everything. Um, for me, I really don't like to get the police involved if I don't have to. So my plan was to go there, by myself, knock on the door and just try and see what's going on. And luckily, also thanks to like one of your courses with Scott, the multifamily, I was also reaching out to brokers in the area, trying to see it like a multifamily deal possibly. So I was talking to her name's Lisa. She's great, and she connected me with their maintenance person, Tony. So Tony actually met me out there, so I didn't have to do it by myself. So I'm just like this
Yeah,
path
real
has just
quick.
been forging.
PA, don't go by yourself.
I know,
Right?
I
Like,
know, and trust me, everyone's in consensus that was the wrong move, but it worked out perfect as I kind of knew it would. So, and it did, and he was actually much more calm when I went.
yeah.
So got his name and everything. I did, the three options like, hey man, like I don't know if you established tenancy with the prior owner, but I'm the new owner. Um, so if you're willing to pay, you're more than welcome to stay here. And then I'll probably give you a discounted rate. I could fix it up. And he was like, oh no, I don't even know the rental rates here. Oh no, no, no. I was like, okay, no problem. In that case, I can offer you $500 for the keys. I leave on the 11th. Um, we can do the exchange in the morning. And if you want any help, I can help you. And he was like, that's a little too short for me. And then I was like, okay, well then in that case, we're just going to go through the eviction process. And then he was like, all right. And he was like, can I get your name? And then he was like, yeah. So he gave me his name, his phone number, everything was smooth, but he wants to go through the eviction. So
Well, okay. So it's funny because our investor journeys are
yeah,
are so unique and so different. Imagine a year ago, what would that have felt like to you? Like a year ago, could you imagine yourself dealing with this?
not even a little bit. Like what? Picturing me I'm from a really like nice suburban area in San Diego, like
Uh-huh.
going to, D area in Cleveland, Ohio, trying to talk to someone who's in my property. It's just like, what? Who am I? What
Yeah.
have I become? Because I'm like, but also I feel like moving with love and I think putting that energy into it has just enabled me to be able to do it honestly like how the classes teach like it's really about the team.
So your first tax lien, $5.56. That success and that mindset made it, from my vantage point, makes it so much easier to take that next first step. So buying that duplex,
Yes,
so much easier because you've had that other success in a tax lien.
the momentum.
Uh-huh. What did you buy the duplex for?
$28,100.
$28,000, 28,100. What was your maximum allowable offer on it?
Mine was 36.
Okay. So you got it quite a bit under your maximum.
Sure did.
Okay, so once our squatter gets out, once you go through that process, and that process, it's funny because, well, not funny. I had to deal with a similar squatter about a year ago, and it's amazing how everything kind of stacks on top. Sometimes we wish that experience would have would happen further down your rental life, right?
Yeah, right.
So that you build up some momentum before that. But you're drinking through the fire hose right now.
Yeah.
But once you get them out, what is your strategy with the property?
BRRR.
Okay.
R. I was like, wait,
RRR.
yeah. Um, and that wasn't my original plan.
Yeah.
I had to pivot with that one because, like I said, team dropped down. It's just like, okay, everything's taking a little longer already. So,
Yeah. So you're going to rehab it and then rent it and then pull your cash out. Put some money back in your pocket. That's incredible. What has this journey taught you about yourself?
I'm just so like incredibly grateful that I've been able to grow this much because I'm just thinking back to just the mentality of like how I always felt like I had to do things on my own kind of thing,
Yeah.
and how like when you kind of like make like define your path for yourself, like the teams kind of even just like they make themselves on their own in a way. Like it just everything starts to fit, and you start to feel like, oh, okay, like it's happening. This is how this is going to go, um, and putting my being able to put trust in other people,
Yeah.
even though it's like still really uncomfortable. But it's like, no, this is how it is. Like you think you can do construction, like it's easier. That's why I'm like it's just easy because the pieces are going to fit because there's just no way I was going to be able to handle everything. So
Yeah. Why do you think people find it so hard to believe that they can do it? I mean, it's easy to watch somebody on TV. It's easy to see Alanna on this. But why do you think it's so hard for somebody to believe that they're actually capable or that success can happen to them?
I feel like it's in a way like the reverse imposter syndrome, like to where you pick out your faults and you look at them so much that you don't see like your own uniqueness. Like for me, like it was hard to go into the class and see like everyone have like a professional career and like much bigger networks and all of these things like expertise. And I'm like, man, like I'm just a human here. Like, but feeling that, like me even feeling small, like those first classes, like that intimidation, because like supposedly everyone here is so much better than me. Where it's like, just look into yourself. I'm like, maybe I'm not professional, but I'm personable. And people gravitate towards that. And it's like, okay. And then you find my place. And it's like, all right, you're doing it. So it's just,
Yeah.
that's what I feel like it is. It's like a mentality block against like their own light.
It's funny, having kids, I feel like so many times they compare themselves, and I think we all do it, but it's interesting when you have kids, you see it so much better, is they pick out the deficiencies in themselves and compared to their schoolmates and their friends and their teammates or whatever it is, and they said, this person's better than that person at this, and this person's better than me at this. And they're constantly diminishing themselves, and wishing that they had this, or they're wishing that they were better at that. And so as a parent, one of my roles and one of my big goals is to shine that light on the kid and like, yeah, but look what you're good at. Look how talented you are in here. And as we become an adult, it's pretty rare to find somebody that will do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
That will say, hey, Alanna, you're really good at this. You're going to be successful at that. And so we just look in the mirror and look at ourselves, and we're picky about ourselves. And we like circle, and we circle all the things we don't like about ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't illuminate the things that are actually incredible.
Exactly.
So how do we do that? How have you been able to do that for yourself to realize that, oh, you know what? I am a really personable person. I'm really good at this. How have you been able to do that yourself?
So probably gonna get a little deep. And I'm sorry, but I feel like from like really losing my family, like both like my mom, my dad, my grandparents, the people who really poured love into me, and then being in a dark place for a while, but then finding like your class and just kind of like slowly being able to realize that instead of allowing that pour to kind of turn into grief, I can re-pour that love into the world kind of thing and move with love. And I feel like me honoring like my parents, like how you're saying, like you as a parent shine light on the positive qualities in your children. And it's like
Yeah.
knowing like verbally from them, I can't receive it. But if I can pour that into the world, then in a way I still get to feel it and see it. It's just in a different way.
You know, there's so many people that come through our classes everywhere, everything from our free class all the way to our advanced classes. And I remember having the conversation with RG, who who took you out and helped you buy some houses. And
We haven't even talked about that yet.
I know. Okay, well, let's stop there. What do you want to tell me about RG?
Well, RG's just amazing. I knew he'd be amazing. But in ode to him, like mentorship can change your life. Like having a mentor can and will change your life to the utmost degree. Like just the fact RG knows who I am is just like to me. And it's just like, but that's the value that having a mentor like that, like, just is. So, but I knew RG was going to be amazing because of how so meeting everybody was the summit. And it was just like how everyone treated him. And I was like, man, who's that? I really want to work with him. And so I signed up to do that, and life changing. We did the flyout in Indiana. Currently, I have 2 properties there that we're working on for fix and flip. I'm really excited about them.
So, how did RG change your life, or the trajectory of your life?
Before, when you would like speak your dreams and thoughts into existence, and then having RG's like having like Genie there, being like, here, this is how that goes. And you're like, oh, thank you. And you just kind of follow the trail, and it's like, this is amazing. Who knew it could just like flow and just come so easy? Like, I feel like we put in our heads that everything has to be so hard. And it's like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be hard, especially if you like believe in the people that you surround yourself with. And if you can't believe in those people, get some new people so that you can.
RG is such an incredible human. When we first started Tax Lien Code, RG was one of the very first people that came on, and we asked RG to be responsible for all of the foundation classes and all of the fly out trainings that we do one-on-one, and all of the stories that flow in with RG. I love hearing more of them. And RG is a huge Disney fan.
Yes,
so he is going to love the fact that you just called him the Genie, because all I got in my head now is Robin Williams, the Genie, and RG. And it like that correlation with RG, I think, is perfect. Because like all I can think is like the movie with like poof, put like just granting wishes all over the place, right? Like in 2 houses so here's such an exciting part for me. You live in California.
Yes.
You invested in tax liens in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You are flipping 2 houses in Indiana. Mm-hmm. And you own a duplex that you're going to rent out in Cleveland, Ohio. Mm-hmm. Did you ever think that was possible a year ago?
No. Especially, what month is it? June? No. At June, I was barely learning about tax liens. I could barely purchase my first tax liens come May, June. So like, no, definitely not. But that's why it's just so beautiful. Like with the right guidance, that it is possible.
Well, okay. So what's next on the Alanna progression? Like, I'm so excited to see what you do next. So I'm curious, what are your goals and ambitions from here?
Ooh. Well, my ambition is definitely to get into multifamily, get a little deeper into underwriting. It's kind of been my focus. I really want a big apartment complex.
I'm never going to bet against you. Actually, I'll bet on you on that.
Wow, that is wow. Can I record that forever?
Well, it's recorded right now. We're going to throw it up on YouTube, and it's going to be there. So Officially, I'm betting on Alanna.
Thank you.
You talked about pouring love into the world, and one of my favorite things is the accident that is Tax Lien Code. When we started Tax Lien Code, we had no expectation, no dream, no goal of it becoming what it is. And being able to talk to Alanna, to be able to talk to all of these students on the Success Chronicles and all the other just one-on-one conversations that we don't record, seeing that success that everybody is having because of people like RG, because of people like Scott Lamb, because of the team that we've built. What does it feel like for you to pour that back into the world now yourself?
Amazing, really. Like even I'm gonna always remember this Cleveland experience because I was just so ready to just handle it by myself because like I said, it was just like I'm just gonna move with love. I mean, how could that go wrong, right? I know it could still go wrong. People get shot over there. I know it could still go wrong. But like I said, the intention, right? And then how everything just fell into place. I got to deal with the like property maintenance person, Tony, who's handled multiple situations like that before, and it still turned out to be perfectly fine. And just like seeing like his like the tenant's face go from super defensive to just like relax, and it's like okay, like that's the love part, and just kind of flowing with that, and then like being able to help at these foundation courses is just so amazing. Like I love pouring back into Tax Lien Code when I can. Literally, I spent the night in Utah this morning. My Houston, they canceled their flights back. Yeah, I was like, oh, your guys' weather is crazy over here. So thunder, lightning, the whole nine. I missed my connecting flight, so I spent the night in Utah. Got back, I was like, please let me land, let no other things happen so I can hop on time. And everything has been working out. So
Well, I remember when RG called, and one of the things at the very beginning when we started Tax Lien Code was we wanted to find people that have come through the system, and we want to bring them in, and we want them to help teach classes, and we want them to play a huge role in our organizations. One of the reasons we created Discover was so that people that are having incredible successes can help, that they can guide and direct and give input. And so that's always been one of RG's big things of like, hey, let's find people and bring them back and let them help and assist and teach. And so we were having a conversation. It's like, okay, we need more people to come to the foundations. And he immediately brought your name up. He's like, well, Alanna, I was like, good, done. Let's bring her in. What has that experience been like for you? What has it been like to travel, I don't know, about twice a month, I think you're going out?
yes,
And attending those foundation classes to those people that are just at that moment trying to buy their very first tax lien. What does it feel like for you?
so exciting. And I try to bring so much energy to them when like helping them buy their first ones. I'm like, yes, look at how good that was. There was one at Houston she had gotten and tax lien was for a commercial condo. And I was like, that I wish, man, I would buy it. And then just try like just feeding into them and honestly, like again with the imposter syndrome, it still feels like I'm not good enough to help them. Like I'm still a student. But at the same time, like I have done those steps to where I can help them get through that beginning. So, and it's really just been an honor just to meet everyone in all these different states. I really feel like every state is so beautiful in its own way, and it's been literally so fun just being able to see it.
Well, someday I'm going to compile all of the feedback because, as you know, every class people come through, we ask them to write down their experience and compiling that and looking at that and just saying how many people appreciate your input and your feedback and the brightness that you bring into the rooms and how excited you are and the energy that comes. People just absolutely love. So thank you.
Of course.
Well, why are you doing all of this?
I mean, just it was a dream, I guess, to put it simply. But the dream was like again, like having two super hardworking parents who provided so much for their kids, but weren't able to provide the time because they had to work so much to be able to provide all this. And then them both not making it to retirement age, like what kind of messed up world is this, you know? And I'm just like, I don't want that in my future. And if I can help other people that not be their future either, then I've made it. like, like I don't want this story to be really anyone else's story. Like the time is the most valuable asset all of us really have. So whatever buys that back for you and to put into whoever you consider your family, like that's it.
So many, I appreciate that so much, that answer. So many people, when they first get started, it's about the money, right? It's about cool vacations or cool cars or cool restaurants or designer clothes, and all those things are incredible. I love all of those things. But they're just things, and the time that you mentioned is really my driving force as well. And having the ability to have that freedom where I get to spend time with people that I love, doing the things that we love together, is hopefully the goal that really exceeds everything else. Okay, so what are you going to do with that time freedom? What is one of the things I don't think I've shared this story with very very many people. My wife and I, we just celebrated 23 years of marriage, and through a couple randomness, we just closed on a farm like a week ago.
Oh,
It's a 20-acre farm here just outside of Kansas City, and it just was this really weird connected series of events. It was like a 2-week conversation, and we had bought a farm.
wow.
And as we were talking about it, we realized at the very beginning of our marriage, we had created a dream board. And on our dream board, we had put that we wanted to have a farm and have a little pig and have all these things when we were broke and in college, not knowing what our lives were going to unfold. And then 23 years later to realize like, oh shoot, we just actually bought a farm that just kind of came out of thin air. And because it's got fishing ponds for our kids to go fishing, and all these cool things on this farm that we get to spend now it's 10 minutes from our house. And so we get to spend all this time doing the things we love as a family, together as a family. So Alanna, speak something into existence. In your life, what is the thing that you want to create with the people that you want to create it with?
Short answer is value. Longer answer, I really want to create a sustainable community of some sort, like bigger term project that brings in Japan's architecture type, Fido kind of influence with the plants and the things to make the air pure, and that is kind of like one of my big goals. It's not as refined as yours at the moment, but that is what I want to create with the time, freedom, and wealth that I'll have built. So.
Well, I'm no RG and I'm no genie, but I love speaking things into existence. So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when you're living in a completely sustainable community that Alanna built, you better send me an email. You better look me up, because we're going to celebrate somehow together.
Absolutely. Yes. My ultimate success story. That'd be awesome.
Well, Alanna, okay, lastly, a piece of parting advice to that person that is sitting there feeling like an imposter, feeling like I'm not worthy of being in this room. I'm not worthy, or I'm incapable of actually achieving my dreams. You've been there, you felt that way. Give me a piece of advice for those people.
Like, who are you listening to? Like, who are you listening to? That's your voice, then we need to work on that. We need to read some more positive books. I don't know if you need to go to church, hear some other types of words, but we need to listen to someone else's voice, even if it's just for a moment. But like how we talked about before, like instead of highlighting and circling all your flaws, like start highlighting and circling things that you like. Build your confidence, and your people are going to find you. But you have to also be like your most authentic you, and so that they can find you. So I don't know who's telling you you're not worthy, but we are all just born kind of here the same way. Seems worthy enough to me. You just have to do it. It's the execution part that people don't really do, and then you can't want the result without doing the work. And the work doesn't have to be hard, but you still got to do it.
Well, that's it. That's it right there. Who are you listening to? I love that. I circled that. I wrote that. I love it. Let's make your voice louder, Alanna. I love having people like you in our corner. Thank you for speaking up. Thank you for being who you are.
Thank you, Brian. Without you and your program, I would not be here. I'd still be wishing that I was doing real estate, wishing that I knew how to buy deeds. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Alanna. I'm glad we have a genie in our corner, and I'm glad we have an Alanna. Thank you so much. Did you hear it? At the very end, she said something that I hope you caught. I wrote it down. She said, "Who are you listening to?" It made me stop and think, who am I listening to? It's not a rhetorical question. Who are you listening to right now? If it's not positive, let's find some more positivity. Follow along.